Hello, and welcome to Healy Fit with your instructor, Jen. Today, I have a Pilates practice for you featuring the magic circle. So, once you have your mat and circle ready to go, let's begin. We'll start out with the circle in hand, legs extended, and we'll fold ourselves all the way down to the floor. Extend the ring overhead, option head all the way down to the mat. Try to touch the ring all the way to the floor behind you. And then as you come up, try to lift that ring all the way up and overhead. Scoop in, release the spine down bone by bone, reach the circle up overhead, come back up, and then reach it up overhead. Good. Working through your entire range of motion with control, with focus, and with core engagement. So how do we engage our core? As you come up, pull your pelvic floor up and in. Light brace along the backs of the upper inner thighs as you come down. Pull your navel in and back as you rise up, and draw your navel in and back as you lower to the floor. Reach out, squeeze the heels to the mat as you come up, squeeze the heels down, and reach up overhead as you release back down to the floor. Good, almost there. Just a few more like this, trying to get as much length and extension as you can when you rise up, sitting tall through the sits bones all the way up to the sky. Awesome. Let's hold it here and try to take your foot into that loop. Good, so that's going to incur a nice knee tuck. Scooping the abs in away from the knee as it comes in. Light backward lean. And you're going to have to round a bit through the shoulders. Good, so creating that space for the knee to come in so it can clear your magic circle. Good, so that core brace every time the knee comes in. And let's twist, still in that light backward lean, side to side. Good. Heels light pressed into the floor. Still have that light squeeze along the backs of the upper inner thighs. Navel pull towards spine. And as you twist, imagine just like you are wringing out a towel. You want to keep your belly pulled in and back. Exhale using the transverse abdominis, your underneath layer. Exhale and release. Awesome. Here, let's stretch for a moment. Arms reach out towards heels. Circle around the feet. Now, if that's not within your range of motion, you can rest the circle on your shins or on your thighs. Let's lean back and do that foot through again. Trying to clear our magic circle. Light backward lean. Good. Pointing the toes through and extending them back out. Just hovering above the mat every time you bring the foot out towards the floor. Almost there. Fantastic. Let's go back to those twists side to side. Again, light backward lean. Length into the torso. So you've had that little scoop into the abdomen, but now you've got length still from crown to hips. You want to keep length along the neckline as well, so make sure your chin is elevated up from your chest. Awesome. Let's go into our stretch, reaching out towards shins or towards heels. Stretch into the back, giving those abs a break, legs a break from pressure into the mat. All right, let's go ahead, come right back up. Tuck the feet in. We're going to place the magic circle kind of right above the ankle line. So there are those two kind of holding spaces along the outer edges. We're going to extend the legs up and then pull back in. We've got light pressure to kind of keep the ring in place. Just kicking the feet straight out from hips to toes. Good. Keeping the core braced. Light pressure into the elbows. Keeping the chest elevated and length along the collarbone. So we've got good posture from crown to hip along the upper body as we kick through the lower body. Now let's add a scissor, sweeping one leg over, one leg under, keeping control of the circle and trying to keep those imprints along each side still right around the ankle line. Go ahead again, lightly squeezing. Let's tuck in and then extend out. Go ahead, pull the knees in and extend out. Keeping the core braced, tuck the knees in and extend out. Go ahead, keeping the chest lifted. Keeping the neck long, kind of looking out towards your toes. Awesome. As we come up, switching gears again. Go ahead, grab your circle all the way down towards the mat with a light scoop. Walk your heels in towards your hips, placing the magic circle right kind of above the knee line, closer to the hips than the heels. Go ahead. Now we're going to go into our bridge, squeeze, release, and come right back down. Option heels up or heels down. A little bit more calf involvement with the heels up. So if you are looking for that, definitely lift up. But if it's too much for you, feel free to bring the heels back down to the floor. Here we're working into our glutes, our hamstrings, and inner thighs. Continue to rise up, squeeze, release, and imprint back down to your mat. Try to elevate one vertebra at a time. Try to keep length into the neck, so push your head into the floor. Chin is lifted. Go ahead, add that squeeze. Imprint back down bone by bone. Awesome. Peel yourself up, squeeze, release, imprint back down. All right, from here, hands reach up overhead, legs extend all the way out. Let's crunch elbows in towards your knees. Watch out that magic circle doesn't hit you in the chin. There we go. Bring it in and release. Guys, so light crunch, rib cage towards hips. Checking where the magic circle is going at all times. Option, keep the head up for a little bit more core engagement. Or as you reach the legs and arms, you can bring your head down to the floor. Good. Anytime you need to adjust the magic circle, adjust it. But we are coming back up and out here. All right, let's place the circle to the floor. Come on to one side. Bottom elbow right underneath, hand cradling the head. And we're going to place the circle inside that heel line again. Once you've got your circle in place, again, ankles kind of right below those pressure points. You're going to squeeze and lift. You want to make sure you're slightly rolled back onto the meatier portion of the glutes. And we're just lifting the both legs up. Good. Light point into the toes. Core braced. So that top arm is there, kind of reminding you to pull your belly button in and back away from your forearm. Lift up and down. Just a few more like this. Lift and release. Maybe see if you can bring it up just a little bit higher. And after this last one, we're going to add that twist again. So now from the side, scissoring the legs forward and back. Good. Now light pressure to keep the ring in place. If you do lose it, just go ahead, grab it, and reset. Now from here, squeeze in using the inner thighs, the adductors, pulling, pulling, pulling in, almost there, and rest. Awesome. Let's switch gears again. Coming on to the belly, we are going to use the circle as a prop, kind of right below the bra line or right around low chest, base of the ribs. From here, we're going to come into a kneeling plank. Hands kind of right around shoulder line or slightly in front. Come down and up. Now pull your belly up and in. Bring the chest down towards the elbow line, and then drive through the hands to lift yourself up. Awesome. Let's extend that same leg that we had on point that earlier. We're going to lift that leg up and down, utilizing glutes. Head lifts forward. Eye gaze forward. Awesome. Light outward turn of the toes. Go ahead, bring that leg all the way up and then fold heel towards hip. Extend. Go ahead, using the hamstring. I want you to pretend there is a harness kind of wrapped around the ankle, and you are pulling that harness from the back of the room towards your glutes. So really utilize your hamstrings, pulling that 50-pound weight towards you, that 100-pound weight towards you, that 200-pound weight towards you, and now circle. Go ahead, sweeping the leg down, around, and up, trying to maintain as much stability and core control as you can, bringing the leg around, circling through the hip, bringing it around the other direction. Let's do a few more. And recover. Go ahead, both knees down. Sit back into a child's pose. Stretch from arms down to hips. As you come up, let's go into the other side leg lifts. So again, placing the magic circle kind of right above the ankle line. Once you are in place, bottom elbow to the floor, bottom hand cradling the head, top hand in front of the abs, reminding you to engage, light lean towards the glutes, lift the legs up and down. Go ahead, elevate and release. Light pressure, trying to hold that ring in place. Core braced. Outer obliques working into each rep that we do. Now let's add those scissors. Rocking 1 foot forward, 1 foot back. And again, if you lose your ring, you just go back and grab it. We're going into those little pulse squeezes through the inner thighs. Squeeze and done. Awesome. All right, so let's go back into those push-ups. Option is going to be to come to your toes, but of course you could go back into that kneeling push-up as well. Hands out wide, core braced, come down again, chest towards elbow line and back up. Go ahead, try to keep that long length looking out over the front edge of the mat. So you've got length from crown to heel. Let's do 4 more. Down and up. Awesome. Drop one knee. We're working the same leg we were just on. So lift that leg up and down. Good. Light outward turn of the toes. Utilizing our glutes a little bit into the low back. So we want to keep the core braced, belly button pulled in and up to protect the low back with these leg lifts. Eye gaze out over the front edge of the mat. Awesome. After this one, lift up and add that heel curl towards hip and extend. Go ahead, fold the heel in and extend toes to hips using the hamstrings. Now remember, we've got that harness wrapped around the ankle and we're pulling imaginary weight towards the hip. So we're creating that hamstring bump along the back of the thigh, flexing in and extending out. Good, using those muscles. Let's add in our circles. Go ahead, checking in with our hip, our core stability, so keeping everything else along the trunk nice and strong as we circle the leg around, down, and up. Good, let's change direction. Go ahead, 6 and 5, 4 and 3, 2, and done. Awesome. As you remove your ring, let's go to your other side. All right, let's come on up and add in some stretches. Such an awesome workout. Reach the arms all the way up overhead, elongating through those abs and arms. Exhale the arms out to the sides, and you deserve a big hug for all of that hard work. Fantastic job. I will look forward to seeing you next time. Take care and be well.